This is Purnima Devi from SNSCT. So in this class we seen about um, Prime Minister, President, and their roles and responsibility based on the Constitution. So now we discuss about the Vice President of India and his Vice President of India, Vice President of India and his constitutional Vice President of India and his constitutional uh, process and responsibility. The Vice President is the deputy of the head of the state of the Republic of India. The office of the Vice President is the second highest constitutional office after the President and ranks second in order of precedence and first in the line of section of presidency. So the vice president also ex official chairman of Rajya Sabha. So article 66 of Constitution of India states the manner of election of the vice president. The vice president is elected indirectly by the members of an electoral college consisting of members of both houses, that is Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So the not the members of state legislative assembly by the system of proportional representation using a single transferable votes, and voting is conducted by election commission of India. So the vice president also acts as a challenger of Punjab University and Delhi University. So the qualification of vice president is it is elected as a vice president that must be a citizen. The particular person must be a citizen and he completed his 35 years age and not to be hold any office of profit. So unlike in this case of president where a person is a member of Lok Sabha, the vice president must be qualified for election as a member of Rajya Sabha. So the difference is because the vice president act as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. At the time of vice president acts in either two capacities, he cannot act in both office simultaneously. The vice president is elected indirectly by an electoral college and both the houses by the system of proportional representation using single transferable votes, and the voting is by a secret ballot. The election of vice president is slightly different from the election of president, as the members of the state legislature are not part of electoral college but are nominated members of Rajya Sabha. So the Election Commission of India, which is a constitutional autonomous body, conducts the election. The election is to be held no later than 60 days of expiry time of the office of the outgoing vice president. A returning officer is appointed for the election, usually the Secretary General of either House Parliament by rotation. So the returning officer is used as the public person qualified to be elected and intending to stand the election. He is required to be nominated by least 20 members of parliament as proposers and least 20 members of parliament as seconders. The nomination purpose of scrutiny by returning officer and the names of eligible candidates to be added. The election is held via proportional representation using single transferable votes by secret ballot. So voters stack rank candidates, assigning one to their first preference and two to their second preference. The number of votes required by a candidate to secure the election is calculated by dividing total number of valid cast votes by 2 and adding 1 to the quotient by the discreting remainder. So after the election has been held, the votes are encountered and a returning officer declare the result of the election to be to the electoral college. Thereafter, returning officers reports to the result to the government of India and the Election Commission of India, and the government publishes the name person elected as a vice president. So the vice president may resign office by submitting letter of resignation to the president. The resignation becomes effective from the day it is accepted. If the vice president resigns, then the vacant post has to be filled as soon as possible, whereas in case of president, election to be held within 6 months.